this is my outfit for today. I'm now in the 120s. I'm 129 pounds, and this was an outfit that I was very happy to buy, and I got it from the thrift store, but it's so beautiful. And about a week ago I tried it on hoping that I could get into it, but no, I had a hard time getting into the tunic, and I couldn't get the pants on at all. My ankles and calves, and I might say too muscular, but anyway, it wasn't going on, and now I fit, so that's wonderful. And there's a lot of things we'll be discussing here, including those movies. So Black Phone got top of the stack against those other ones, and honestly, it's Black Phone 2, I should point out. It wasn't great, but honestly, I don't know if it was better or worse than the first one. They're not too bad. Anyway, so, and after that, James will probably be talking about Van Morrison lyrics some more, but I don't know about that either. We'll see. So,
first time.
Yeah. And that sunlight, boy, that really gets in the way. Okay, so you may notice the jars in here and whatever. I'm going to be talking about fermentation, and this book got top of the stack. These are all from the Chinook Arch library system. This one is the one I'm using the recipe for today as you watch, and the Gut Health Cookbook got bottom of the stack. And I may talk about why I placed each as I did. The recipe calls for one whole shredded cabbage, and that's what that turns out to be. It's huge. You wouldn't expect, but I'm not going to use that much. So I cut down how much. I'm not using green onion, I'm using red onion, because another recipe they have in that book called for regular onion, and it worked, so I'm going to try that. I use the pink Himalayan salt, that's why that's pink on top, on shredded cabbage that was like finely grated. I'm using these kind of jars with the glass lids because they work really well. I've done this many a time in the past. I've made some brine here, but honestly, I don't use brine. I just keep massaging the cabbage, and I get enough fluid once I've packed it in. And I might be able to show you that, and I might not. But I guess I'll go through these first, and then I will start massaging this. So just shove that over, and there we go. So, I was going to talk about this a little bit. There were some interesting facts that I read in that, I guess I'll hold up that book again, Fresh and Fermented. Well, maybe I won't hold it. It's
so
just,
is it the second one?
It's fine. But that's the one I'm using is the second one. Even though this is a top of the stack book, I just decided I'd try the recipe from that one, because there's other recipes I can try from this one. And well, I can try a whole bunch of kimchi and all sorts of recipes eventually, I suppose. But anyway, I wanted to point out some facts from that second book in the stack that I'm using for this recipe. Bacteria break down complex carbs and synthesize vitamin A, B complex, and K without bacteria. These nutrients would go undigested and unused, and this is from page 18. Researchers in Japan discovered that Clostridium bacteria release an acid that activates white blood cells in the intestinal lining. And honestly, when I hear things like that, I think, is that really a good thing? You know, that doesn't necessarily make me think, ooh, this is a healthy food. It's like when I heard about echinacea, I'm like, I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Anyway, if we eat animal products, we may consume antibiotics. Fruit and vegetable fertilized with manure may absorb antibiotics. Antibiotics are even found in our water. Bacteria mutate and become resistant to antibiotics. Some antibiotics promote yeast growth, like Candida albicans, which suppresses the immune system. So, that's interesting. Now, I don't know if I really showed you this stack well, but that's what I'm going to be talking about for a moment, and then I'm going to turn you over to James. So, and I'm going to wash my hands up and get massaging. So, Black Phone 2, it was scary. And you know, I've been watching movies while I work out on the, I can't remember what the machine is called, but it's an exercise machine, and it's really very simple, and it's very low. It's not it's not strenuous at all, but it's like cross country skiing, and it's really nice. I enjoy it. So I'm on there and watching a movie, and I prefer watching thriller movies or even horror movies or something like that. Something that'll get my pulse racing a little faster or something while I'm working out. So this worked out okay for that. It was scary enough. And at the end of Black Phone, the first one, you would think, well, how could they make a second one? Well, they actually made this work all right. So I was impressed enough. This got top of the stack.
There's an actual phone in this.
Yeah. Well, it's set back in time, right?
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, and they do a good job at that too.
2 phones.
It's believable. Now, not everything in that was believable. There were a few things like they did say radical, which was believable. I think in
rad.
the time, yeah, people would say that.
Say whatever.
Yeah, people really wouldn't say radical. I don't think so much. They'd say radical. But anyway, there were some things like that I was like, oh yes, you know, that was accurate. But then there were some other things I was like, I don't think that people said that for a while. But there wasn't much of that. I thought they did a pretty good job with that too. So, Tron Aries. Now, I honestly, I expect better from Disney, and I don't know why I do, but
they had record.
They had it, for a long time.
What was his name? Ellsberg or whatever, Eisenberg took it over, but they have improved things.
Yeah.
But this one not so much.
Well, I mean, what can you do with Tron? The first one was frankly dreadful. I remember my cousin. He came to the farm and he was showing us on I think they must have brought a VCR with them, you know, to show us. But they wanted to show us, well, he did. He wanted to show us his movies. So one of them was Tron that he brought over, and he was very excited about that. He was very excited about all the things like Star Wars and stuff like that urban kids were excited about. But I wasn't. And I guess, you know, maybe some of the wealthier farmers might have been, but really that whole time kind of passed me by. I ended up, my ex he'd been an urban kid at that time, and he was very interested in Star Wars and all that stuff, and it never interested me. So I liked going out walking in nature on the farm, and I liked hanging out with the animals and stuff like that. Anyway, my cousin had brought over Tron, and he was disappointed that I thought it was really boring. It was just unbelievably boring for me. I think I ended up leaving. I didn't want to watch it. It was just that bad for me. Didn't interest me at all. Well, this one, I was doing the machine. I was exercising on it, whatever. And so I was stuck there. But there's a lot of really great special effects, stuff like that. It's basically like watching a pop concert light show. There's a lot of that sort of thing. I don't know. It's just not my thing.
Bottom line
And
is she was stuck there.
Ares, he's the name of, he's Master Control. Ares is Master Control at the beginning. And then Athena becomes Master Control. Spoiler alert. But Ares, they kind of have him looking like one would imagine Jesus looks like. And quite handsome. But Athena is probably not what most people would consider Athena looking like, but what does it matter? I mean, they're just pretend characters in Tron, right?
It kind of doesn't matter because some idiot came up with a book called Black Athena.
Oh, is that what this is from?
That
Okay.
Maybe they.
That's our friend the Blue Jay. I fed him so much today, I don't know what he's talking about.
So the idea is Greek culture came from elsewhere. So Athena is the tutelary god of the Athenians. And I think the idea in the book basically is Greece got their culture from Egypt. And then there are some idiots going along and saying the Egyptians were blacks. The Egyptians drew their own skin, they drew black people's skin, and the Egyptians' color was like Mesopotamians, like Italians, like whatever. People around the Mediterranean, they're Caucasians, the old term Caucasian. But there's been a lot of racism propagated in my lifetime about that. It's if the Greek culture took stuff from Mesopotamia, took stuff from Egypt, it took stuff from maybe more from the Phoenicians, in present-day Lebanon. But what happened around 500 AD, no one had ever done before. No one had even come close to, in terms of philosophy, science, other types of learning. It's just a quantum leap, as it were.
All right, so I don't really have anything more to say about Tron. It really wasn't my thing, and I'm sure there's a lot of kids out there that'll be really excited about this one, just like there were a lot of kids that were really excited about the first one. But you know what? The first one, watch it now. What do you think of it?
The technology's all gone by the wayside. But your cousin was being nice.
Yes, he was.
He was trying to share.
He was. I got to wear all his hand-me-down clothes.
Is he still alive, you think?
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to him. No, thank you for sharing.
Oh, I totally loved my cousin. He was wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had lots of toys. I had the farm. I feel like I had more. In hindsight, back then I wanted his toys, but whatever. Sister Boniface Mysteries Season 4. I'd already reviewed this. I just wanted to show that these were worse by bringing this out again. So it's not good. Sister Boniface is not good. Bone Lake.
I'm just going to say, sorry,
Oh, okay.
while we're on this subject, this is some of the best sleeping tube material out there. I don't think I watched more than like 15 minutes of each one of these, whatever, how many shows there are. 10 minutes might be better, but a better estimate of that. It's not objectionable or anything like that.
No.
It didn't keep me awake.
No, not at all.
Man, I can't stand this. But as I'm sure this Tron thing would have.
I'm going to do a spoiler alert on this, but you won't want to watch it anyway. Bone Lake, within the first, 5 minutes?
Yeah, okay, spoiler alert. I know
it didn't take much time. Yeah. I said, that's their house and their brother and sister. There you go.
I even figured it out. So, and spoiler alert too, you're going to see a certain portion of male anatomy zapped with an
I guess
arrow.
I should talk about that too. It's like right now it's seems to be popular to show full frontal male anatomy as long as it's flaccid. And this was very close up.
Very close up.
It's done very quickly into the show. And they did another thing quickly into the show. When they turn the camera upside down and you're looking, and it's
okay, yeah. Really
this is just a fashion thing.
Yeah.
That,
like
you can do it now. That's great. Yeah. So you have to do it. Well, only do things like that if it makes sense for your movie to do it. And come on, the arrow thing, ridiculous.
Trashy movie. One of the worst horror movies I've ever seen, really. Like the whole idea is people do stupid things that if you were in those horrible situations, would never, ever, ever, ever do. And you're going, what I do is, I find it impossible to cheer for a sports team, for example, that does stupid things that I could figure out not to do. Similar here. Like I'm going, why did an idiot do this? Why did an idiot do that? Why don't you just kill him now? Get it over and done with. I'm not cheering for these idiots.
All right, so Girl in the Cabbage, we usually like Bill Nye, or however you pronounce his name. But
is he the guy that's in the movies where he likes stripping down? Yeah. He didn't strip down in this one. Spoiler alert. And I do like him.
Yeah, we like him as an actor.
Playing a somewhat different character for it.
This was about the G8, and there were some things. James might want to talk about this. In this movie,
because you're going to mention how it.
I'm spoiler alert. All the whatever.
Yeah.
They're talking about the Millennium things that they wanted to have done. Deal with end world poverty, kids that are. I guess there's a child dying according to this, and at this time, whatever. Child dying every 3 seconds due to poverty. And there's extreme poverty, right? And they wanted to end, there's mothers that are dying, giving birth often too, and that's so healthcare problems, right? And then they wanted to end. What was it? Anyway, I remember when I was young, and this was about the time when the first Tron movie came out, actually. There was a lot of you can feed a child, adopt a child through whatever, and you can feed them on $1 a day.
Or UNICEF.
And it'd be on the TV, and we'd go around and collect with, Halloween, you'd bring your little boxes so that people could donate money, and the school would hand it out so that they could. And so anyway, one day I said to my dad, while I'm watching TV, the commercial came on, and I said, we need to adopt one of those people. And my dad was like, well, $1 a day is a lot of money, he said. And because we didn't have a lot of money. And he said, how much money do you get for your birthday? Say it's it wouldn't have even been $20 for the year or whatever at that time. And with all your birthday money from everyone. And he said, that won't even last a month. And you don't have the money to. And the fact of the matter is, they were doing it in James's generation. They were solving this problem of extreme poverty and world hunger and stuff like that. And in this movie, they talk about government subsidies for agriculture. Really look into it. Government subsidies for agriculture.
Like farm
aid. Is there something to do with agriculture products that are going out of the country? Does it have something to do with that? Because a lot of the subsidies that are going to farmers, they're not helping society out. They're not helping ours. And they're not helping the farmers out. Because the farmers should be growing something that is more high valued crops.
That
Instead, they're growing
subsidized that people want and need.
Exactly. But instead of growing the high value crops, we're importing things that we have to pay a lot more for, and we're exporting things that are worth very little. So how is that? These things are connected. And it's disgusting. And it has to stop. Because already, for generations, been handing out, and what has since you were a child, what's the population of Africa? So they were talking about just how the poorest countries are in Africa, and
Africa
so many of the poorest countries. And look into what the population was in James's time,
of India,
and when I was a kid, I'm sure
we're still Canada's
and look into
still
it now.
sending aid to India, and they're sending colonists.
And
here,
if you think about it, okay, James's generation of children saved so many children in Africa, and they grew up and they had more children, and they had more children. And my generation, when I was a child, we saved so many children in Africa, and they grew up and they had more children. And now there are so many.
More and more and more.
So
no,
really, eventually,
no, slap the hand.
You have to learn that this isn't working, because you're just producing more children to go hungry, to feed, and it's eventually there's not going to be enough to feed. So actually what you're doing is you're producing more children to die.
But also to colonize.
The fact.
They've gone way past the goals they were setting. The population has exploded. I'm going to have to look it up in Africa.
And this is just bad.
See how low the population was in Africa when I was a kid. When my dad was a kid, India's population was probably under 300 million. Now it's 5 times that. If they had 5 times the per capita GDP, they would be maybe up at European levels of, well, not quite, maybe New Zealand levels. And I think people live in New Zealand relatively comfortably, don't you think, Colin? If they kept the same population, they'd be doing just so, and they haven't, and it's on them, not on their kids. But we can't do it. They're responsible for their own kids, their own population.
All right, so
China, similar thing. Chinese population when my dad was young, maybe 300 million. India, I think, less. Absolutely unacceptable. Okay. Africa's population was very small. I'm going to check it up, folks. And the numbers will be shocking. They're not surprising to me. But the Western world has been taking care of this problem the way it was, and more so, when I was a kid. And if there had been something like family planning, no more than 2 kids per household, Africa would be all right. They'd be saying, "We're all right, Jack. We don't need any help." But no, they keep on producing more and more kids, and they've all got their hands out. So the thing is, I was for third world independence, third world freedom, and I still am. Independence means, freedom means you actually have democracies, and they don't. None of them, except maybe Costa Rica, maybe, have something like democracy. I'm sure there's some others that are kind of limping along with borderline democracy, almost as badly limping along as the United States, but with Donald Trump at the helm. And I'm particularly enthused about third world independence. Stop stomping around the world with your hand out. Use those hands to feed yourselves. Stop letting dictators run your economies into the ground. It's on you. You have been independent, most of you countries in Africa, almost as, for example, almost as long as the horrible colonizing powers were controlling you. Now, if you don't believe me, look it up. It's been about 60 years or more, and the colonizing powers of many countries in Africa, Algeria is an exception, South Africa is another exception.
I already have this juicy enough, I don't need to massage it anymore.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I never thought I'd get that juicy. Anyway, I think they started to go crazy colonizing about 1890. Huh? That's about 70 years, and now it's been about 65 years since, or 60, we'll say. It's getting out, it's on you. On you. Pull up your bootstraps. Get on the stick and stop running around the world, or crawling around the world, or whatever, with your hands out. Third world independence. Absolutely wonderful idea. Do it.
All right, well, you can talk about Van Morrison lyrics now while I get this stuffed into the jars.
Okay.
And I'm just putting one of these in the mix, and I don't know. I thought about putting one of those into each jar, but honestly, James doesn't like spicy food.
My constitution doesn't like spicy food.
So this batch, I'm really not making it spicy. Oh, I should say what was in there. It's just this recipe only calls for cabbage with the green onions, I use red, and garlic and ginger, and some pepper. And normally I would use minced pepper. Normally I would use radish in with the cabbage, and something else. Can't remember. Talk about that later. But this recipe did not call for that, and frankly, it's my kimchi's way better than this recipe. But I'm gonna try it. I don't know. I just know by the flavor that it's that I can imagine in my when I'm doing it. So do that, because now anyway. So I'll mix the stuff together and stuff it in the jars. And when they call in the recipe for once you pack the jars down and you put brine on top, so that the cabbage doesn't stick out of the brine. They call for screwing the lids on loosely, but I've found that if I use this kind of the glass lids, I don't screw it at all. I just put the glass lids on. I stick it in a Rubbermaid tub, because these things, they will end up burping out what do you call them? Some juice. So I squeeze it down as far as I can. Squeeze it down, and gotta clean up my pants, my pretty pants. Got some on it. And then I have juice on top, and I don't have to add brine. It's already really briny on top. So pack the jar, squeeze the thing down, and then I stick the glass lids on, and I don't even need to screw this on at all. And that's how I do it. So there you go. That's